G'day, my name is Hayley from Story Brewers, and today I'm going to explain to you how to play Fight with Spirit matches online. In this video, you'll see everything is already set up and ready to go, but if you're facilitating and need to set up a virtual space like this, we'll have a separate video on that. Today I'm using Roll20, but you don't have to use that for your matches. Something like playing cards.io would work just as well. So we're going to jump in here in the middle of a tense game between the Dockside Demons, which will be our player team for the day, and their rivals, the South Beach Sharks, in the quarterfinal of the Harbour City Regional Soccer Tournament. Play is just resumed after half-time. Our two teams are currently neck and neck. Now, matches in Fight with Spirit are played through a series of match games that look like this. Each player will choose and play through one match game, and if they win, they'll get a point for their team, in this case the Demons, and if they lose, the point will go to their rival team, the South Beach Sharks. The side with the most points at the end is the winner. So two of the players in the Demons have already played their match game, and now it's come for the turn of Lizzie Bennett, a striker for the Demons. The Demons are counting on Lizzie, but so far she hasn't been performing particularly well. And that's because the Sharks goalie, Fitzy Darcy, keeps throwing her off. So we need to choose one of these match games on the array for Lizzie. And to represent her struggle, we're going to choose the match game On My Own. So On My Own, right now, no one can help you. Can you fight on your own? Play to find out. Am I anything by myself? And in focus in this game, you, being the current player, Lizzie, and also a rival, which I have a sneaking suspicion might just be Fitzy himself. So when you're playing a match game, it's as simple as following the instructions here from beginning to end. And you can see from these little pill boxes exactly who is meant to be performing the instruction. You is the player who chose the game, in this case Lizzie. We also have a rival in this game, and our rival here is going to be the Sharks goalie, Fitzy. Now, to resolve match games, at some point we will be drawing cards from the match deck, and you can see that deck hovering off here to the side. The deck is composed of the numbers 1 to 6 in 4 suits. So let me draw a card out here. So you can see this card has a number, it is a 6, and has a suit, focus. There's also 2 questions on this card, a headway question and a setback question. In general in the game, you will answer headway questions when things go well for your team, and setback questions when things go not so well. Now, for the purposes of this game, I'm going to be playing Lizzie and Fitzy, but ordinarily a rival would be portrayed by the person who is playing them, whether that's the facilitator or another player. So use your imagination to pretend I'm 2 people. For that purpose, I have brought Fitzy's iconic hat. So, On My Own, read each step aloud and follow the instructions. Set up. You. Which rival singles you out? Why can no one else help you in this moment? Well, as mentioned, Lizzie has been singled out by none other than Fitzy Darcy as she heads towards the goal, running out ahead of the other defenders in search of the perfect moment to strike. Why can no one else help her in this moment? The others from her team are a little way behind. She received the pass just in front of the defensive line. Rival, why do you target them? Fitzy's just doing his job. This goal is his responsibility after all. But secondly, there's something about Lizzie, the colour of her eyes, the way she moves across the field, the elegance and grace with which she kicks the ball that he cannot help but find compelling. When something is so compelling, one must do their utmost to rise to the challenge it presents. Back to Lizzie. Do you feel prepared for this? Flash back to your hardest training session. I think Lizzie does not feel prepared for this. And the training session we flash back to, this was a rare joint training session between the Dockside Demons and the newcomers into the scene, the South Beach Sharks. And the Sharks themselves had several members rumored to be from elite teams. Among them, of course, Fitzy and his good friend, Bingers. She couldn't help but be infuriated by these 2 boys, and Fitzy in particular, and his attitude towards everything around him. And that fury caused her to make stupid mistakes during this training session that she would never normally make. Rival, set up the moment by describing how you press your attack. Now, set up the moment is a game instruction in Fight with Spirit. And what it means is that the player who is performing this instruction should describe a moment that the other player can step into to interact and resolve. In this instance, I'm going to be explaining what Fitzy is like as he's defending the goal, so that the player playing Lizzie can step into that and describe what she does in this situation. And I think what Fitzy does is he sees that the ball is a little bit ahead of Lizzie, and he decides to take a risk. Although he's normally a very risk-adverse gentleman, if you don't take a risk, how can you make your feelings in this life known? So he runs forward, hands outstretched as the ball rolls into the box, seeking to grab it and return it to safety before Lizzie can get her foot upon it. Back to Lizzie. You have only seconds to decide. Choose. And the game is going to present 2 options for Lizzie here. She can either play it safe, or she can stand and fight. And we know Lizzie, she's gonna stand and fight. Not only does she speed up her acceleration towards the ball, she goes to kick it before she's necessarily in the best position. She can see that if she waited just a second longer, it would be the perfect time to make a kick, but that would just be too risky. So just a little bit too far away, she makes that kick, her foot curling around to meet the hard edge of the ball, and she hopes for the best. Well, how do we resolve this? How do we find out what happens to Lizzie? So we're going to draw 3 cards plus spirit. If the total plus fight is more than 13, then she'll win, and we'll answer a headway or setback to describe how the point ends. So let's do that one step at a time. Draw 3 cards plus spirit. We're going to assume that Lizzie has got 1 spirit. If you choose to spend spirit, you must spend it before you make the draw. Lizzie is definitely going to be spending her spirit. She's going to draw 4 cards from the match deck over here. Now, to draw cards, you can either drag them out from here onto the Roll20 space, or you can hover over here, go to where it says deal, and deal them into your hand directly. We want to see what these cards are publicly, so I'm going to just drag them out onto the Roll20 space. So we've drawn with spirit. We have 4 cards here. But what you do when you draw with spirit is that you draw extra and then you discard so that you're back down to the original number. We drew 3 cards plus 1, then we now need to discard 1 card to get us back down to the original number. Here, we're trying to get more than a target number. So the best thing for us to do is to just discard our lowest card. And since we have 2 2s here, it doesn't matter which one we get rid of. So I'm going to get rid of this 2 of prowess, putting us back down to 3 cards. We have a total here of 9. 9 is not more than 13. So this isn't looking too great for Lizzie. But luckily for her, a lot of troubles have been played on her during the game. And so she has a total of 4 fight, the maximum number of fight that anyone can hold during the game. And she can use this fight to add 1 plus to the value of a card. So in this case, she can turn this 2 into a 6. For a total of 13. Now, I hear you say, that is still not more than 13. Yes, that's true. But in this game, momentum is with the demons. And they won that momentum by winning the opening moves, which is always the first game that you will play in a match. So you can see momentum is indicated here by this orange circle. If you have momentum, you win ties. And in a case of a target number, that means that you only have to equal the target number. You do not have to exceed it. So Lizzie manages to reach the 13 points required to win this game. So Lizzie is going to answer a headway or setback to describe how the point ends. Now, since she won this game, she'll answer a headway. And she can answer a headway on any of these 3 cards here. What spin do you add to an old technique? What secret emotion do you portray? And who helps you keep your cool? I think we have to go with what secret emotion do you betray? Lizzie is running forward. Fitzy is running forward. Both of them are heading towards this ball. And Lizzie gets there just a moment earlier. Her foot connects with the ball and it sails in an arc right past Fitzy and into the goal. But the momentum is there. Lizzie and Fitzy are still running. They collide into each other and they land in a tumble on the ground. And as her head lifts up after the impact, her eyes meet his. And there's something there that isn't quite content. But hurriedly, she gets up because she knows there's more game left to play. With that, the demons have gotten their 2nd point and they're ahead in this match. Now it will be all up to the next player and the next match game to see if the Sharks manage to tie things up or if the demons manage to pull ahead for good. But what happens at the end of a match game before you start the next one? Firstly, delete all the cards you used in that game, whether they were in your hand or on the field, then delete the match game that you played because that won't get played again. And the last thing you're going to do between every player match game, one of the players is going to set a match moment. Match moments are breaks between play where you can do some role playing to explore the character's emotions and feelings about what's happened in the match so far. And you'll choose these offer lists that you'll find in the game. I hope you enjoyed this quick demonstration of how matches work online in Fight with Spirit, and I hope you enjoy the game and get a chance to play a lot of matches of your own. Over and out from me and Fitzy.